Have you ever had that moment where you want something to happen, but not right now, maybe just a little bit later? Hello everyone, this is TETRider1, and today we are continuing our logic journey with another QB. Yes, another magical little box, the delay QB. And as the name suggests, its job is pretty simple. It makes things happen on a timer. Basically, it's the QB that says, hold on, not yet. In this video we are going to use our very famous system, you know, the one I keep coming back to like it's my favorite tool in the toolbox. It consists of a QB model hinder, a model, and a pressure plate, and a bit later on we'll also add a negate QB to the mix. Now if this setup sounds familiar, that's because we've used it quite a lot in previous videos. I've actually explained this system in more detail before, so if you want the full breakdown, you can check that out right here. But don't worry, I'll still go over the important parts so no one gets left behind. As you can see, the pressure plate has a blue sphere. That means it sends a signal to make the system work. In other words, it's an output. So the pressure plate is just one type of initiator, but Kogama actually has quite a few of them. If you want a full breakdown, I've covered all the initiators in another video on the channel. You can check it out right here. Now the QB model hinder is a bit more interesting. It has two spheres, one orange and one yellow. The orange sphere is the one that receives the signal and reacts to it. It's an input. The yellow sphere, though, is a special one. It only exists on the QB model hinder and the QB model transparency, and it can only be connected to models, nothing else. So think of it as a very picky connector. And finally, here is the most important rule in Kogama logic, the one that never changes. You can only connect blue to orange. Never blue to blue, never orange to orange, only blue to orange, no exceptions. The QBs are very strict about this. And now let's move on to the star of today's video, the delay QB. The one we've all been waiting for. As you can see, it has two spheres, a blue sphere and an orange sphere, which means it can both receive a signal and send one. So yes, it actually does something eventually. Now, the whole point of the delay cube is to make things happen on a timer. It comes with a couple of settings: how long it should wait before starting delay time, and how long it should stay enabled duration time. So let's break it down step by step. First, when you set a delay time, the QB will pause for that number of seconds before doing anything. It's basically thinking, let me take my time. Only after that, delay finishes, does it move on and activates the duration phase. Let's see the delay QB in action. This will make it much clearer how delay QB works. Let's first connect logic. Click on the blue sphere of the pressure plate, drag the signal to the orange sphere of the delay QB and click again. And there we go, the connection is established. Next, click on the blue sphere of the delay QB, drag it to the orange sphere of the QB model hinder and click again. And just like that, our second connection is ready too. Slowly but surely the QBs are beginning to communicate with each other. Now right click on the delay QB, go to settings, and here we can see the settings we talked about earlier. Duration time and delay time, both measured in seconds. Let's set the duration time to 5 seconds and the delay time to 0 seconds. Also, don't forget to press enter to set the time, otherwise it will reset to the previous time. As you can see. So set the duration time to 5 seconds, press enter, and the delay time to 0 seconds and press enter. It means that when the system is activated, the model will appear immediately and stay visible for 5 seconds before disappearing again. Let's test it. Switch to play mode by pressing P. Press L to reveal the logic and step on the pressure plate. And instantly we can see the system working. The pressure plate sends a signal to the delay QB. The delay QB passes that signal to the QB model hinder, and the model appears for exactly 5 seconds. Simple but surprisingly useful, also slightly addictive once you start making timed systems everywhere. Now let's see the delay time in action, because this is the reason the QB is called the delay QB in the first place. Very creative naming, Kogama. Go back to build mode by pressing P, then right click on the delay QB again and go to settings. This time let's set duration time to 3 seconds, press enter, and delay time to 5 seconds. Press enter again. Now switch back to play mode and reveal logic and step on the pressure plate again. And now something very interesting happens. At first it looks like absolutely nothing is working. The system just stands there staring at you awkwardly. But actually the delay QB is working. As we discussed earlier, the delay QB always waits first. Since we set the delay time to 5 seconds, it waits exactly that long before doing anything else. And as you could see it, and there we go. After 5 seconds pass, the model finally appears, and this time it stays visible for exactly 3 seconds. And that's it. Once the duration time finishes, the delay QB stops its work completely. Nothing else happens until the system is activated again by the pressure plate or by any other initiator you decide to use. So in simple terms, first it waits, then it works, then it goes back to doing absolutely nothing again. Now let's move on to a system that uses the negate QB, and this is where things get a little more interesting. Go to build mode. With the negate QB involved, the behavior of the model changes completely. Instead of appearing, the model will now disappear for a certain amount of time. Here is another system. As you can see, I have already connected the negate QB to the QB model hinder. Connect the pressure plate to the delay QB and the delay QB to the negate QB. Now right click on the delay QB, go to settings and set duration time to 1 second, press enter, and delay time to 0 seconds and press enter. Then switch to play mode by pressing P on your keyboard and press L to reveal the logic world. And here we can see that the principle of the delay QB is exactly the same as before. The only difference is that now the delay QB is connected to a negate QB. So instead of making the model appear, the system makes the model disappear for 1 second, and then it appears again afterwards. Now let's make things a little more dramatic. Go back to build mode by pressing P, right click on the delay QB, go to settings, and this time set duration time to 10 seconds, press enter, and delay time to 9 seconds. Once again press enter. This is just an example, by the way. You can set the timings however you like. Tiny delay, huge delay, extremely suspicious delay, completely up to you. Now let's switch back into play mode and reveal logic and step on the pressure plate again. And just like before, at first it looks like nothing is happening, but in this case the delay QB is waiting for the full 9 seconds that we said earlier. Once those 9 seconds pass, the duration time activates and the model disappears for 10 seconds. And here we can see it happening. Also remember something very important. This is not a cycle action. Here I will repeat what I said earlier. The delay QB waits, works, and then stops completely until it receives another signal from an initiator. And there is another important detail. If you keep stepping on the pressure plate while the delay QB is already working, nothing new will happen. You can spam the button all you want. The delay QB does not care. Basically, it only listens to the first signal it receives from the initiator. And only after it completely finishes both the delay time and the duration time, it becomes ready to listen again. And that's how the delay QB works. So, where can you actually use systems like this? Well, the possibilities are honestly pretty huge. For the first system, the one where something appears, you could create an arrow that shows players where to go for a limited time, a warning message, or some important text that only appears for a few seconds. Pretty useful if you want players to actually notice something instead of running past it at maximum speed like usual. Now for the second system, the one where something disappears, you've probably already guessed one of the most common uses, a timed door. Let's right click on this delay QB and go to settings and set the duration time to 5 seconds, press enter, and the delay time to 0 seconds, press enter. Now go into play mode by pressing P and reveal the logic by pressing L. Step on the pressure plate. The door opens for a limited amount of time and the player has to reach it before it closes again in order to continue. Just like that. But of course, we can also become slightly evil with the delay QB. For example, you could create a trap where the player activates something, nothing seems to happen at first, and the player starts thinking, oh, okay, nothing dangerous here, but secretly the delay QB is counting down in the background. Then suddenly the floor disappears, a wall appears, spikes activate, or something blocks the player from moving forward. So the delay QB can be used for helpful systems or for complete betrayal. The choice is entirely yours. And one more thing, and honestly one of the most interesting uses of delay QB and logic in Kogama is animation systems. Things like animated text dialogues, moving doors, timed sequences, or models appearing and disappearing in order to create animations. That's where logic systems start becoming much more advanced and much more powerful. And this is actually one of the most complex areas of Kogama logic, which we'll explore in upcoming videos. And that's it for this video. Today we explored the delay QB in Kogama logic, how it waits, how it activates systems on a timer, and how you can use it to create everything from simple effects to timed doors, and even evil little traps that ruin somebody's day unexpectedly. Hopefully this video helped you understand how the delay QB actually works behind the scenes and maybe give you a few ideas for your own systems and games. In the upcoming videos we'll go even deeper into Kogama logic systems, advanced QB combinations, animations, and more ways to make your games feel smarter, more interactive, and occasionally slightly dangerous for the players. Also feel free to join my Discord server. That's where I post extra info, updates, and where you can chat with the community and with me directly. Ask questions, share your creations, or just stand there silently observing everything like a delay queue waiting for its duration time. Completely acceptable behavior. You can also find me on Kogama, all the links are somewhere down in the description. Yes, you'll have to scroll a little, I believe in you. This was Tetraeder1, thanks for watching, you are amazing, and I'll see you in the next videos. And remember, sometimes the most interesting systems in Kogama don't happen instantly, sometimes they just need a little delay.